Hey guys, it's just Julian here, and I thought I'd make this video because people always ask me and say, "Oh, I really like your modeling. It's so hard and all these things," but I just thought I'd make this tutorial just to kind of show you how easy modeling is. And I wouldn't say I'm a good modeler because I'm not. I don't really know a lot of things modeling wise. I simply just use simple tools and simple there's like effects and things in different ways that people don't usually use them. So I just thought I'd make this tutorial just showing how easy it is to make simple things that you wouldn't think you could make. So I thought just make something really simple and it looks pretty cool. So I thought I'm going to make like a brick wall and like a gate or like a fence, like a metal fence. Although you may think it looks kind of boring and plain, it can look pretty cool, and you can use the methods we use in that in so many different other things. So I'm only going to use 2 objects in this whole thing too. 2 objects, that's it. I'm not even going to edit them in any way, just to show you how easy it is. So I'm just going to spawn in a cube first, and I'm just going to size it down. So do the X to about, I don't know, 100, Z to about 100. I would just use these little things to scale it down, but I just thought I'd be pretty specific for the tutorial. Make the Y like 15, just so it's like a nice little plate. Just a little tip to make things look more realistic. I tend, if you put like a tiny little fillet on them, it makes them look a lot better. Sorry, I got my dogs in the background and being a bit loud. But yeah, so we just have this plate. Just put like the lowest fillet, like 0.5 on that, and then just press Control C, Control V to duplicate it. So make another one, and then just bring the size of that in a little bit. So let's just say 95. Yep, and then 95. And then just make it nice and tall. 95 might have not, it may be a bit less, so like 80. Well, sometimes it just adds. There you go, yeah, that looks good. 80. And just choose a height that you think will be good for like a gate, so that should be fine. And let's get your bottom original one, Control C, Control V to copy it. Just move it up to the top. So we just have this pillar which just has the 2 cubes at either end. Now that we have that, just get your original one, Control C, Control V again, just copy it, and I'm going to make smaller little cubes in the joints, so I'll change the size down to like, let's say 90 on both of these, and now I'm just going to make them a little bit taller and put them in there. Just gives it a little bit more character, I guess, I don't know. And then just put it on the top too. So it's got like a double kind of fillet on it now, and I'll just get the bottom one, copy it again, and move it into the middle. It doesn't have to be exact, but if you click your middle scroll button, like actually click it, it opens up the view panel. And I usually like to just click on one of the 2D views and just make sure it's pretty well lined up in the middle. So that looks pretty good as it is there. Yep. So to show that, so that's just in the middle now. We've got our thing there, and then just going to copy it, Control C, Control V. I'm just going to make it a little bit skinnier. How about that should be good. Just move it out a tiny bit and then move it up. You want it so it's a little bit bigger than this first fillet here, but not any bigger than the second one. So you just got to work out a size that just kind of perfectly fits both of them. This isn't exact, you don't have to copy everything I'm doing. This is just my opinion on what could look good. So I'll just copy that, Control C, Control V, go to a rotate tool, and then just rotate it 90 degrees. It's on a square, so when you rotate it exactly 90 degrees, it should just line up perfect. So I'm having trouble just getting on 90 degrees. 90.1, that'll do. You don't really have to be exact, you can't really tell, that's like point of a degree off. So now that we have kind of that basic thing, I'll just duplicate this again and just make ones on the sides, but I'll just make them a little bit skinnier just to make, just for effect, I guess. So I'll just add one there, I'll duplicate that, Control C, Control V, and then add one on the other side. Let's move it over a bit so it's lined up. And once they're like lined up, just select both those layers, holding Control and clicking both of them. Duplicate it again, and then just rotate it like we did with the other one. So 90 degrees. If it's not perfectly on 90, it doesn't really matter, but try to get it on 90. And then now we have this kind of funny looking pole. It may look kind of odd with this, but if you get a simple brick texture, so let's say I go to bricks, get a nice brick texture like this one that's kind of got a bit more detailed bricks, a bit more up close. I'm just going to group all these objects. So I'm going to click on the bottom cube, hold shift, click on the top one, selecting them all, press Alt G to group them all. Let's go quickly take the specular off that, and then drag that into that, and then just change it to cubic. So that just puts the brick texture on each individual one. And then when you render that out, especially with ambient occlusion, it looks really cool. It gives off a really cool brick effect, and it looks pretty realistic. And because of that texture, that detail, it just makes it look really neat. So that's a pole, and we want to duplicate that pole for the gate. So just Control C, Control V, and just move it over a little bit so it's in line. And then we want to make our fence part, so our gate or fence, like the poles that go in between. So just get the oil tank. I like to use the oil tank whenever I'm making poles or anything like that, simply because it's got that rounded off top, and it can look a bit better when you're doing certain stuff like this. So change your cap height to about, I don't know, 2. It should look good. And just turn the pole down just to a size that you think would look good, kind of with the poles. So you want them a bit smaller than the poles, and try to keep them, let's say, within this kind of bottom fillet on each side. So just move it down, just center it up, so that looks pretty good there. And then I'm just going to move it to the side, and then just duplicate that, move it to the same on the other side, move a little bit in, and then just for spacing them out, whoops, just going to duplicate again, I just put one in the middle, yep, put one in the middle of them, put one in the middle of them, whoops, and if that's not enough, you can just do one more, and then you just put in the middles or them. I find that's the easiest way to try to get the most even sort of effect throughout them. It doesn't have to be perfect, because obviously nothing in life is really perfect, but just try to keep it pretty even. I might just turn down the radius a little bit, just to 3, so just select them all with the shift, go to object, turn down the radius, and then just going to select one of them, duplicate it, turn it 90 degrees to its side. So let's go to 90 degrees, and then I just want to change the length of it, so just change the height, just turn that up, and then just move it into the center, just so it's touches both of the poles, and then move it up to the top so it's sitting like on top of them, so the tops of the poles aren't showing, and then another one to the bottom. It might actually look a little bit better if you have a little bit of the top showing, just like that. That looks fine, yep. And that's just a simple gate. If you want to put a texture on that, I'll just go, you can just get any sort of metal texture. You could probably just even create one in C4D, but or wood could actually look alright too, if you want like wood. I'll just put a metal texture on anyway, but just get a simple metal scratch. You can just use whatever texture you want. The textures I have are pretty easy to get, so and do what we did with the other ones. So just select them, Alt G, group, drag it over the top. And usually with these sorts of textures like wood and metal, I don't usually do change it to cubic, because it can stuff around the texture a little bit, and it usually gives a pretty cool effect when you just do it like this anyway. So that's what it looks like with the metal texture, and then I could obviously put a reflection on that, make it look a bit more realistic, And if you want to go that step further, you could change it to like a black sort of pole. So change the color to black, turn down the opacity just so you can see little textures from the original texture, and then make it have reflections, tone the blurriness a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then if I quickly put my Lightroom in, so we have lights for it to reflect on. I will give away my Lightroom in a separate video probably sometime soon. I just made this Lightroom and it works perfectly for what I do, so I like it. But and yeah, with Lightroom, with ambient occlusion and all this kind of effects and stuff on, something as simple as this can look really real and also really awesome. Like, you could make this into anything. You could easily incorporate this into a background, make it sort of a gate like I did with my TGN one. You could make your logo like inside of the poles, so like poles jamming in it and stuff, whatever. But usually people give tips on modeling and modeling tutorials on how to do a lot of really background based and really sort of just always the same thing, like plugins and things. I'm trying to show you how to make models out of raw materials, no plugins. You might not even need textures for this. You could probably make that black texture yourself. You could probably find a cool way to make a sort of rough texture with some sort of noise or gradient for the bricks. So that's basically it there. If you like this video and you want more, I'll probably get like more advanced as we go, and I can teach you how to make awesome things, way bigger and better things. But I just thought I'd start off simple. So if you like the video, just give it a thumbs up and give me a comment if you want to see more like this, because I'm happy to make these videos and help out my subscribers. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I hope you have an awesome day. So thanks.